A woman with 9 identities, coded messages, and a death so suspicious that 50 years later, scientists are still uncovering her secrets. Picture this, November 29, 1970. A father and daughter are hiking through Norway's Isdal, the ice valley, when they stumble upon something that would haunt investigators for decades. A woman's body, burned beyond recognition, surrounded by the most bizarre collection of evidence you've ever heard of. 9 different passports, all fake, coded messages that look like they're straight out of a spy thriller. And here's the kicker, new scientific evidence in 2024 has finally started to crack this case wide open. But the answers? They're more terrifying than anyone imagined. So buckle up, because we're about to dive into what might be the most intricate Cold War mystery ever documented, and trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to question everything you thought you knew about international espionage. The evidence. Let's start with what we know for certain, because the official evidence in this case reads like fiction, but it's all meticulously documented by Norwegian authorities. The Isdal woman, that's what she's been called for 5 decades, was found in a remote hiking area outside Bergen, Norway. The scene was disturbing. Her body was positioned face down, severely burned, with evidence suggesting the fire was intentional. But here's where it gets absolutely wild. According to the official police reports released by Bergen Police, investigators found 23 bottles of various medicines and cosmetics scattered around the scene, all with their labels meticulously removed. Every single one. Who does that? And more importantly, why? The isotopic analysis conducted by the University of Canberra in 2024, this is the breakthrough I mentioned, has revealed something extraordinary. By analyzing her teeth and bones, scientists determined she likely grew up in the Nuremberg area of Germany, but had been living in France before her death. This woman wasn't just traveling, she was living multiple lives across multiple countries. But wait, it gets stranger. The Bergen police investigation uncovered that in the months leading up to her death, this woman had checked into hotels across Norway using different identities. 9 different fake passports, all expertly crafted. And here's the detail that made my jaw drop. She would arrive at hotels, immediately change rooms, and pay exclusively in cash from different currencies. The coded messages found in her belongings? The BBC's 2017 investigation revealed these weren't random scribbles. They were systematic notations that appeared to correspond to her travel schedule and possibly meeting locations. Intelligence experts who analyzed them noted they followed patterns consistent with Cold War-era espionage communication. Think about the timing here. 1970. The height of the Cold War. East and West were playing chess with human lives, and somehow, this mysterious woman was right in the middle of it. The forensic evidence tells an even more chilling story. The autopsy, conducted by Norwegian forensic pathologist Dr. Torstein Hagen, revealed she had consumed a massive dose of sleeping pills before the fire. But here's what's haunting. The pills weren't in her system long enough to have been the cause of death. Someone wanted her unconscious, not dead. The fire was meant to be the final act. And according to declassified Norwegian intelligence documents obtained through Freedom of Information requests, there were unusual intelligence activities in the Bergen area during exactly this time period. Multiple agencies were tracking suspected operatives moving through Scandinavia. Now, I've spent months digging through these documents, and here's what I think happened. This wasn't a random crime or a suicide gone wrong. The evidence points to a professional intelligence operation that went sideways. Someone with extensive resources and training eliminated what they saw as a liability or a double agent. The isotopic evidence supports this theory beautifully. A person who grows up in Germany but lives in France, then operates across Scandinavia with multiple identities? That's not a tourist or even a regular criminal. That's someone working for state-level intelligence services. Contrasting viewpoints. But hold on, before we crown this the definitive spy thriller of the century, let's examine what skeptics and alternative theories suggest, because the evidence, while compelling, isn't without its complications. The Norwegian police officially maintain that while the case has espionage elements, they've never definitively proven she was a spy. Detective Leif Hagen, who worked the original case, argued in interviews with NRK that the spy theory might be confirmation bias. We see what we want to see because it's more exciting than the alternatives. Some investigators have proposed she was involved in high-end smuggling or black market operations rather than state espionage. The multiple identities and cash payments could indicate someone running contraband across European borders. In 1970, luxury goods smuggling was enormously profitable, and the skill set required, fake documents, coded communications, multiple safe houses, would be identical to espionage work. There's also the psychological angle that's gained traction in recent years. Dr. Karen Pittman, a forensic psychologist who analyzed the case files, suggests the woman might have suffered from dissociative identity disorder or been fleeing an abusive situation. The multiple identities could represent psychological fragmentation rather than professional tradecraft. Critics of the espionage theory point out significant gaps. No intelligence agency has ever claimed her. No missing person reports match her description from any known intelligence services. And most damning, if she was truly a professional operative, why was her operational security so sloppy? Real spies don't leave coded messages lying around hotel rooms. The isotopic analysis, while groundbreaking, also raises questions. If she was German originally but lived in France, why was she operating in Norway? That's an unusual geographic pattern for most intelligence operations of that era. Some local Norwegian investigators have even suggested the case might involve organized crime or human trafficking rather than state-level espionage. The deliberate destruction of her identity could indicate someone trying to cover up involvement in illegal networks that spanned multiple countries. Finding common ground. So where does this leave us? After examining all the evidence and the various theories, I think the truth is probably more complex than any single explanation. Here's what I believe happened. Synthesizing all the credible evidence, the Isdal woman was likely involved in some form of international clandestine activity, but it might not have been traditional state espionage. The 1970s saw the rise of what intelligence historians call gray zone operations, activities that blurred the lines between government intelligence, organized crime, and private contractors. The isotopic evidence showing her German origins and French residence, combined with her sophisticated operational methods, suggests she was part of networks that operated across national boundaries. But rather than working directly for a single government, she might have been part of the shadowy world of freelance intelligence operatives who sold services to multiple clients. This would explain the contradictions: sophisticated tradecraft, but sloppy security, multiple government-quality fake identities but no agency claiming her, professional execution, but amateur mistakes. The new scientific evidence doesn't just tell us where she came from, it reveals she was someone who moved through the world without leaving traditional traces. That level of mobility and anonymity requires resources and skills that go far beyond ordinary criminal activity, but it also doesn't require the backing of a major intelligence service. What haunts me most about this case is how it represents something larger about the Cold War era. There were probably hundreds of people like the Isdal woman, operating in the shadows between official history and documented reality. Most of them we'll never know existed. She only became famous because someone made a mistake, and that mistake cost her everything. The 2024 isotopic analysis has given us our first real breakthrough in 50 years, but it's also shown us how much we still don't know. Science can tell us where she came from, but it can't tell us why she died or who killed her. Broader implications and questions. This case forces us to confront some uncomfortable questions about the world we live in. How many people exist in the margins of official reality? How many individuals operate with resources and capabilities that suggest state-level backing, but leave no official traces? The Isdal woman's story isn't just about one mysterious death in 1970. It's about the entire invisible infrastructure of modern power. Think about it. If someone could maintain 9 different identities, move freely across international borders, and operate with sophisticated communication methods in 1970, what would that same person be capable of today? And here's what really keeps me up at night thinking about this case. If the isotopic analysis is just now revealing basic facts about her origins, what other scientific techniques might eventually unlock the remaining mysteries? What happens when AI can analyze the coded messages with computational power that didn't exist in 1970? What happens when facial reconstruction technology gets good enough to generate images that might trigger someone's memory? The Isdal woman represents something profound about human mystery and identity. In an age where we assume everything is documented and traceable, her story reminds us that it's still possible for someone to exist almost entirely outside official records. That's either terrifying or inspiring, depending on your perspective. But maybe the most important question isn't who she was or why she died. Maybe it's this: how many other Isdal women are out there right now, moving through our world with equal mystery, and what stories will they leave behind? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that the most important stories are often the ones we never hear about, until 50 years later, when science finally catches up to the truth. What do you think happened to the Isdal woman? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one, and some of you have insights that genuinely blow my mind. And if you want to dive deeper into cases like this, where science meets mystery meets history, make sure to subscribe because we're just getting started with stories that will make you question everything you thought you knew about the world around us.